I'm good. Just been staying at home for the most part. When I flew home, I actually had to start another 2 week quarantine
Yeah.
at my house. So that's by the U.S. government's law. It's not as how do I say? It's not as strictly enforced as it is in France. There's not like checkpoints on the roads or anything, and I don't have to fill out any paper. Um, but it's very different here. I'm in Sturbridge, Massachusetts. Sturbridge is halfway between Worcester and Springfield, Massachusetts. Those are the two closest big cities. Springfield's actually where the Basketball Hall of Fame is located. We're about 1 hour to the east, or I'm sorry, 1 hour to the west of Boston. So after the game in Bullazak, I took a taxi for about 5 hours to Charles de Gaulle. Got there probably about 4 hours before my flight, very early. Checked in, flew home, had the birth on a Tuesday. So I flew home Sunday morning, had the birth on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, was planning on flying back to France. So I got to Newark, got on my flight, flew to Paris, and then on the trip to Paris, like halfway over the Atlantic, that's when Rudy Gobert tested positive. The NBA just immediately suspended everything. Trump then came on and did his first address from the Oval Office, and the way he worded it was he suspended all travel to and from Europe. So no one really knew what that meant. I mean, they just took it for what it was worth, suspending all travel. So again, this is halfway over the Atlantic. I immediately get up from my seat and I go to the front of the plane and I'm like, you guys need to see this. I showed them the tweet and everything because I couldn't get the actual live feed. The internet wasn't fast enough. So I showed them the tweet. They're all like, because it's news to them too, it literally just happened. And they talk to the pilot. The pilot calls back to New York and is asking him, is this true? And what do we need to do? What are the rules? And at that time they had said, yes, this is the last flight to Paris. So coming back from Paris to Newark to return, like that was going to be the final flight. So they went around telling everyone on the plane the situation, because not everyone was following what was happening on their phones and everything, and everyone started like panicking, because people are in different, people are going for a couple days, a week, different reasons, vacation, work. So they're like, okay, we got to get on stay on the plane and then just fly back, basically. So a lot of people actually did that, but I had told them, like, I know I have to stay. We play tomorrow night. I understand the situation. I have a place to live. Being a father and chasing around, twin girls, does take up a lot of energy. So that's good. I can get some conditioning doing that. I try to start every morning down here in my basement. I have a home gym here. I have a pretty good exercise machine. I have, a place where I could clip my bands to the wall. I have a couple dumbbells. So I have pretty much everything I need for the workouts that I do now. So it's pretty good. I have like a TRX attachment outside, and then I have a little backyard I can do some running, and I have a little hill so I can do a couple like runs up the hill, quick sprints. I thought I was gonna have access to a gym, like a basketball gym, but because of the whole quarantine and everything, everything's just been locked. I'll be honest, it's just weird. It's really weird because I've never been home at this time in 11 years, ever since I was in college. And this is the time of the year that's the most fun. For me, I've been, I could probably say this for other veteran players. That first half of the season, I'm not saying it's not important. It is important, but you play for the end of the season, when the games really matter and it goes possession by possession. There's a lot more, like, I would say not stress, but there's a lot more pressure on everything that's happening. You need to win these games. You're trying to push for the playoffs, and that's the part that you as a player you enjoy the most. And it's just unfortunate that this happened. From a team point of view, I thought we started off the year great, and then we kind of hit a rough patch, midway through the season, close to the holidays. But internally, especially in practice, I thought we started to put it together a little bit. And, I think we were starting to really kind of hit our stride a little bit, and would have loved to see what we could have done with that, and get to how we were playing early on in the season when we were playing so well collectively. I didn't know how much I was going to miss, especially my kids. I'd be lying to you if I knew what to expect, but I didn't. When my wife was pregnant with the twins, I was bought out of my contract in Spain with the team I was on in Spain by a team in Turkey. So she went home for that pregnancy, and I went to Turkey. So we had been through a similar situation before. Again, with her being pregnant in the States, me being in Europe playing basketball. And we were okay being apart from each other, but when you have kids involved and they are old enough to understand a little bit the situation, it's brutal. It's very difficult. For the fans, most important thing is just try to stay safe. Try to stay positive. These times are unprecedented. Something like this has never happened in our lifetime. So, enjoy the time with the family. I know it's tough, especially being confined, but all you really can say is just try to stay positive, try to enjoy your time together. And try to live your life as normal as possible, even though it's very difficult. If this is it, I hope it's not, but if this is it, thank you so much for all your support, for all your kind words over the years, before games, cheering us on during the games, and then, saying congratulations or wishing us more support after the games. I had a really good time, and my family loved it, and, in this situation now, I'll keep you guys in my thoughts and prayers. Just try to stay positive, try to be optimistic, and we're all going to get through this together. So thank you and best of luck.